and good evening. You're watching Express News, where we bring you a quick wrap-up of all that's made news throughout the day from around the world. I'm Samriddhi Goyal. Let's begin. In a historic event for the infrastructure landscape of the country, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has launched GatiShakti, National Master Plan for Multimodal Connectivity. Prime Minister GatiShakti aims to break departmental silos and institutionalize holistic planning for stakeholders across major infrastructure projects. All the departments will now have a visibility of each other's projects through this centralized portal. The multimodal connectivity provides integrated and seamless connectivity for the movement of people, goods and services. PM-GatiShakti will also generate multiple employment opportunities, cut down of cost of logistics, improve supply chains and make local goods globally competitive. Prime Minister GatiShakti is based on 6 pillars. Now these are comprehensiveness, prioritization, optimization, synchronization, analytical tools and dynamic platform. Prime Minister Modi also inaugurated 4 exhibition halls in the International Exhibition cum Convention Centre. These exhibition centres will give a platform to our MSMEs and industries to showcase their products to the world. Prime Minister Modi reviewed the new model connectivity at PRAGATI MAIDAN. He unveiled the Mega GatiShakti Master Plan in the national capital, Delhi. In his address, the Prime Minister said the National Master Plan will provide GatiShakti to the 21st century India with multimodal connectivity and next-generation infrastructure. He said the Prime Minister GatiShakti Master Plan brings together government processes and other stakeholders together and also interlinks transport modes. Prime Minister Modi said the India of the 21st century is leaving behind old thinking and is moving forward. He said today's mantra is will for progress, work for progress, wealth for progress, plan for progress, preference for progress. Prime Minister Modi stressed that it is universally accepted that the creation of quality infrastructure leads to sustainable development and gives rise to many economic activities and employment on a large scale. He said GatiShakti National Master Plan will also provide an analytical and decision-making tool to the investors and all the stakeholders involved in the policy making of the country. The Prime Minister said that in 5 years, before 2014, only 3,000 kilometers of railways were electrified. He stated that in the last 7 years, more than 24,000 kilometers of railway tracks have been electrified. Only 60 panchayats were connected with the optical fibre before 2004, but in the last 7 years, more than 1.5 lakh gram panchayats have been connected with optical fibre. India has also got a new infrastructure in the sector of inland waterways and seaplanes. Prime Minister said India just had 5 waterways in 2014, but today the country has 13 functional waterways. He said work is going on at a rapid speed to develop a modern ecosystem in the aviation sector. He said in order to improve air connectivity, new airports were built and air sector was opened up. Speaking on the occasion, Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal said India is progressing at a fast pace and Prime Minister GatiShakti National Master Plan is a symbol of the Prime Minister Modi's foresight. He said this visionary master plan will map available infrastructure in the country and superimpose the ongoing projects on the map. Industry captains have welcomed the PM-GatiShakti Master Plan, calling GatiShakti a game changer. Several industrialists who participated in the launch of the plan have lauded it. Let's listen in what they have to say. Army Chief General Naravane, who is on a 4-day visit to Sri Lanka, paid tribute to the brave hearts of the Indian Army who laid their lives during peacekeeping operations in Sri Lanka. The Army Chief laid wreath at the Indian Peacekeeping Force War Memorial in Sri Lanka. He interacted with veterans of the Sri Lankan Army. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar is in Armenia on the last leg of his 3-nation tour to Central Asia with an aim to further expand bilateral ties and discuss key regional issues, including the developments in Afghanistan. He began the day by paying homage at the Tsitseranakarbad Memorial Complex in Armenia. The External Affairs Minister held talks with Ministers of Foreign Affairs of Armenia, Ararat Mirzoyan. The leaders discussed a roadmap to take bilateral cooperation forward. They also agreed on enhancing trade, education and cultural exchanges. Dr. S. Jaishankar also met the President of National Assembly of Armenia, Alan Simonyan. They discussed the importance of nurturing the bonds between two parliamentary democracies. They also spoke about bringing people closer together through greater cooperation in different domains. Dr. S. Jaishankar also paid homage to Mahatma Gandhi at his statue in Yerevan. Jaishankar thanked Minister of Foreign Affairs of Armenia, Ararat Mirzoyan, for joining him on this occasion. Together, they planted a tree of friendship. The External Affairs Minister also met Indian students and Armenian friends of India in Yerevan. He appreciated the efforts made by the government of Armenia for the welfare of the Indian students. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh will deliver the inaugural address at the webinar on role of women in armed forces being organised by Shanghai Cooperation Organisation tomorrow. The international webinar in video conference mode is hosted by the Ministry of Defence. Congress leader Rahul Gandhi, along with 5 other Congress members, met President Ram Nath Kovind and demanded an independent judicial inquiry into the Lakhimpur Kheri violence case. He also requested for the dismissal of the Minister of State for Home Affairs. The 30-share Sensex surged 453 points to hit a new closing high of 60,737. The Nifty 50 also rallied 170 points to 18,162. Gold prices were up by 164 rupees at the MCX to end at 47,362 rupees per 10 gram. Silver prices also rose by 593 rupees at the MCX to end at 62,179 rupees per kilogram. The Indian rupee rose 15 paise to close at 75 rupees 37 paise provisional against the US dollar. Brent crude futures, the global oil benchmark, declined 2.40% to US dollars 83.09 per barrel. Petrol and diesel prices were kept unchanged on Wednesday after the rates were hiked for a period of 7 consecutive days. Petrol is selling at Rs 104.44 per litre in Delhi, while diesel is selling at Rs 93.17 paise per litre. CNG and PNG prices have gone up by Rs 2 each. From today, CNG will be available at Rs 49.76 per kg and PNG at Rs 35.11 per standard cubic meter in the national capital. The new prices will be effective from today. International Monetary Fund has projected that India will continue to be the world's fastest growing major economy, clocking a growth rate of 9.5% in 2021. As per the latest IMF projections, Indian economy will grow at 8.5% in 2022. The world economy is expected to grow at 5.9% in 2021 and 4.9% in 2022, according to the IMF. The IMF said global recovery continues, but the momentum has weakened and uncertainty has increased. India's COVID-19 vaccination coverage has exceeded the 96.43 crore mark as per provisional reports till 7 a.m. today. This has been achieved through 94,26,400 sessions. A total of 50,63,845 vaccine doses were administered in the last 24 hours. Over 97.79 crore vaccine doses have been provided to the states and union territories so far through Government of India. Over 8.43 crore balance and unutilized COVID vaccine doses are still available with the states and union territories to be administered. India reported a total of 15,823 new cases in the last 24 hours. The country reported a total of 22,844 recoveries in the last 24 hours. Over 3 crore 33 lakh and 42,000 cases have been reported so far. Recovery rate currently is at 98.06% and is the highest since March 2020. Active cases account for less than 1% of the total cases. Currently at 0.61%, it is lowest since March 2020. Weekly positivity rate at 1.46% is less than 3% for the last 110 days. Daily positivity rate at 1.19%, less than 3% for the last 44 days. India had conducted over 58.63 crore total tests so far. World also continues its fight against COVID-19. So far, over 23 crore 95 lakh and 13,000 cases have been reported worldwide, while recoveries stand above 21 crore 68 lakh and 70,000. The deadly virus has so far claimed over 48 lakh and 82,000 lives globally. The United States remains to be the worst affected nation by the pandemic. The country has so far reported over 4 crore 54 lakh and 31,000 cases, while the death toll has surpassed 7 lakh and 37,000 mark. The White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki has said that Texas Governor Greg Abbott's executive order barring employers and others from imposing a COVID-19 vaccine mandate is out of step with businesses in the state. Psaki said Abbott's decision was motivated by politics and not science. Boeing Company's US-based employees will now be required to show a proof of COVID-19 vaccination or have an approved medical or religious exemption by December 8th to comply with President Joe Biden's order for federal contractors. South Korea established a panel on Wednesday to debate a strategy on how to live with COVID-19 in the long term. The country seeks to phase out coronavirus restrictions and reopen the economy amid rising vaccination levels. Prime Minister Kim Boo-kyung told the panel's first committee meeting that the country will turn COVID-19 will no longer be a fear of the unknown and prepare citizens to return to their precious everyday lives. He added that mandatory mask wearing would not be immediately scrapped under the new policy. Russian President Vladimir Putin said Russia needed to speed up its COVID-19 vaccination campaign as the country recorded its highest single-day death toll since the start of the pandemic. Speaking to the newly elected lawmakers, Putin urged them to actively support efforts to have more of the population vaccinated. The Kremlin has blamed the rising case numbers on insufficient numbers of people getting inoculated. Russia on Tuesday reported 973 coronavirus-related deaths, its highest single-day toll since the start of the pandemic. The country has reported 28,190 new infections. The Democratic-controlled U.S. House of Representatives gave a final approval on Tuesday to legislation temporarily raising the government's borrowing limit to $28.9 trillion, pushing off the deadline or debt default only until December. Democrats, who narrowly controlled the House, maintained party discipline to pass the hard-fought $480 billion debt limit increase by 2019 to 106. Chancellor Angela Merkel said Germany is not yet prepared to recognize the Taliban as Afghanistan's government since it has not met the inclusiveness standards demanded of it. Speaking with members of the G20 group of major economies, Merkel also said leaders also demanded United Nations agencies be given full access to provide humanitarian aid. Iran has sent a plane carrying aid packages to Afghanistan's Kunduz airport. Local officials said the supplies of food and medicines were primarily intended for the families of the victims of the Syed Abad mosque blasts in Kunduz province last week. A former U.S. Navy nuclear engineer, Jonathan Toeb, and his wife, Diana, faced their first court hearing on charges they attempted to sell secrets about nuclear submarines to a foreign power in exchange for cryptocurrency. They appeared before the court for a formal reading of the criminal charges against them. They have not yet been asked to enter a plea to the charges. Demonstrators gathered in different cities of Bolivia on Tuesday to celebrate the indigenous Wifala flag and to show support for Bolivian President Luis Arce. During the Great Wifalozo, sympathizers of the MAS ruling party arrived in La Paz, where Arce gave a speech at the San Francisco Square. People supporting the Shiite Muslim cleric Muqtada al-Sadr's party is winner gathered in Baghdad's Sadr city, saying they only have faith in the Sadrist movement. Others expressed less enthusiasm, saying there will be reform only if the people rise against the political elite. In the southern city of Basra, around 300 agitators gathered to protest the election results and lamenting their candidate's loss. The Spanish Coast Guard rescued 91 migrants off the Canary Islands on Tuesday. One migrant boat had 43 adult males and a second carried 48 adult males. They were all transferred to the port of Arguinuin in a Spanish maritime rescue ship. Locals in Mexico's Mazatlan, a tourist town in Sinaloa's Pacific coast, prepared for Storm Pamela by protecting storefronts and trying up boats. The U.S. National Hurricane Center has predicted that Storm Pamela will crash into the fertile farm state of Sinaloa in Mexico. In China's Shanxi province, several people have died during incessant heavy rain and flooding. Normal dry regions of the country have received 3 months of rain in May 1 week. On the Spanish island of La Palma, over 700 residents were ordered to abandon their homes as red-hot lava advanced towards their neighborhood. There were 64 seismic movements on Tuesday, the strongest measuring 4.1. As the Day of the Dead approaches in Mexico, streets, homes and altars start to get covered in bright orange flowers of the Mexican marigolds. Marigolds, or cempasúchil as they are called in Mexico, are known as the flower of the dead. Dia de los Muertos, or Day of the Dead, is a celebration of the life and death. On 2nd of November this year, Mexicans will celebrate the Day of the Dead. On this day, Mexicans remember and honor their deceased loved ones. They visit cemeteries, decorate the graves and spend time there in the presence of their deceased friends and family members. They also make elaborately decorated altars in their homes to welcome the spirits. The parents of Amy Winehouse are releasing nearly 800 personal and professional items belonging to their late daughter for auction. Winehouse, who released 2 albums before her untimely death at her Camden townhouse in July 2011 at the age of 27. According to the Julian's auctions, one of the top lots is considered to be the dress she wore during her last public performance in 2011 and is estimated between $15,000 to $20,000. Now, most of the other dresses are conservatively priced between $2,000 to $4,000. Thousands of Brazilian devotees gathered at the National Sanctuary of Lady of Aparecida in Sao Paulo city as the basilica reopens for the first time since the beginning of the pandemic. With 6 masses at the main building and 7 at an event center, parishioners were thankful for the opportunity to reunite with Brazil's most important and popular saint. Vivid green strands of light danced across the night sky over the Canadian province of Alberta. The aurora borealis, also known as the Northern Lights, were visible due to the impact of the coronal mass ejection. The aurora borealis also lit up the night skies of the United States night sky with a vivid green hue. Video shared on social media showed the shimmering lights over the Grand Forks in North Dakota. Wildlife officials in the U.S. state of Colorado have freed an elk of a tire which had been around its neck for at least 2 years. Officials from Colorado Parks and Wildlife intervened after a local resident alerted them of the bull's sighting. The animal was then located wandering amid a herd of 40 other elk. The team then tranquilized the elk and cut off its antlers before removing the tire. Peruvian police used a drone to rescue a pigeon trapped in a high-tension electric wire in Peru's Lima, which was stuck there for 12 hours. Video footage showed officers equipped a drone with a knife to cut the string that trapped the bird to the high-voltage cable. After falling down on a residence roof, police and locals cut the string that was tied around the pigeon's legs. Neighbors brought the rescued animal to a local shelter for abandoned animals. A statue of Christopher Columbus in central London has been doused with red paint. The bronze statue of the 15th century Italian explorer sits on the edge of Belgrave Square, close to Buckingham Palace. It was seen covered in red paint with a red cross marked over the inscription commemorating the life of the Italian explorer between 1446 and 1506. Shardul Thakur has replaced Akshar Patel in India's squad for the T20 World Cup 2021. Akshar meanwhile joins a list of standby players for the squad along with Shreyas Iyer and Deepak Chahar. The BCCI also said 8 players would additionally be joining the team's bubble in Dubai to assist Team India in their preparations for the T20 World Cup. Inspired by the billion cheers of the sports fans, BCCI reveals the new jersey designed for Team India's T20 Cricket World Cup. MS Dhoni refuses to take any fee from the BCCI for mentoring Team India at the upcoming T20 Cricket World Cup. BCCI Honorary Secretary Jaishankar thanks Dhoni for extending his services to Team India. BCCI has started its hunt for Team India's head coach as Ravi Shastri, Bharat Arun and R. Sridhar's contracts will come to an end after T20 Cricket World Cup. Cricket Australia chairman Earl Eddings resigned on Wednesday, a day before he was due to stand for re-election at the board's annual general meeting. Director Richard Fruitstein was installed as chairman in his place and will serve for a short period until a permanent replacement is elected. India storms into the quarter-final round at the ongoing Thomas Cup 2021. The Indian men's badminton team defeated Tahiti 5-0 in a Group C match. In Indian Wells master Andy Murray was knocked out in the third round on Tuesday night in a 6-4, 7-6, 7-4 defeat by Alexander Zverev. Followed by this development, Andy Murray has said that he will not participate in the upcoming Davis Cup. India to face host Maldives in their last round Robin League match of the SAF Championship in Malé, Maldives later today. Cristiano Ronaldo's hat-trick helps Portugal stroll over a 5-0 win over Luxembourg in World Cup qualifying Group A on Tuesday. The victory ensures Portugal remains a point behind group leader Serbia. England took another step towards 2022 World Cup qualification when they drew 1-1 with Hungary at Wembley on Tuesday. England now 3 points clear at the top of Group 1 with 2 matches remaining. October 13 marks the death anniversary of legendary singer and actor Kishore Kumar. Many celebrities took to social media to pay their tribute. Kishore Kumar died on October 13 in 1987 at the age of 58. After Luka Chupi, actors Kartik Aaryan and Kriti Sanon have teamed up for a new film titled Shehzada. Fans of Bollywood horror movies have a reason to rejoice. Director Anand Gandhi, known for hit period supernatural movie called Tumbar, has announced another horror film, Wildebeest. The makers of Meenakshi Sundareshwar have released the first trailer of the movie. Hollywood star Paul Bettany is all set to star in the Miramax dramedy titled Harvest Moon from a script he co-wrote with Dana Brown. The official trailer for Home Sweet Home Alone has been dropped. 20th Century Studios reimagines hit Home Alone holiday film franchise in the film. The new trailer for the latest horror film Scream has been dropped. The film sees the return of original cast members Neve Campbell, Courtney Cox and David Arquette. Singer-songwriter Paul Simon turned 80 on Wednesday. Simon is best known for giving hits with The Sound of Silence and Bridge Over Troubled Wit. The cast of the Emmy-winning drama Succession celebrated the show's 3rd season on the red carpet in New York on Tuesday. And British writer J.K. Rowling has released a new children's book about a little boy and his pig toy. The Harry Potter author's new story called The Christmas Pig follows Jack, who loves his childhood toy, Der Pig, or DP for short. Well, that's all in today's edition of Express News. For the latest updates on news, do stay tuned into DD India. Thanks for watching.